Hello everyone. This is the second tutorial on elasticity, and in this tutorial we would be looking at price elasticity of supply function. As price increases, it becomes more profitable to produce the good. So the suppliers would now produce and supply larger amount of good. But the question really is, by how much would the supply increase by? How responsive is the supply function to this increase in price or a change in price? That's what we're going to be measuring when we say we want to measure elasticity of supply function. Now, let's consider this case. Let's say the price increases by 20%, and we want to measure the responsiveness of the supply function. So let's say there are two cases. In case supply A, with the increase in price of 20%, the quantity supplied changes by 10%. In the second case, supply B, an increase in price of 20% increases the quantity supplied by 50%. Now, clearly looking at these two, supply A and B, supply A is not as responsive as supply B. In supply A, the quantity changes by a very small amount when price increases by 20%. In supply B, the quantity supplied increases by a large amount with the same increase in price of 20%. So supply A in this case is less responsive, inelastic, and supply B is elastic. So what did we just do? We measured the responsiveness of the supply function, or the elasticity of the supply function. And this is really what we're asking ourselves: what is the change in quantity supplied in percentage terms when price increases by 20%? So if we were to divide the percentage change in quantity by percentage change in price, we get a measure of elasticity or responsiveness. And in our case, it was 50 divided by 20, and we have an elasticity of 2.5. So in this case, supply function is elastic. And this is really telling us that for 1% increase in price, the quantity supplied increases by 2.5%. Right? That's what the elasticity is. Here, let's just solve a problem. Well, first of all, this is the formula for price elasticity of supply function. Now, what is the percentage change in quantity supplied? How do you measure it? Well, it's the change in quantity supplied divided by the average quantity. And similarly, the percentage change in price is change in price divided by the average price. Change in quantity supplied is the change from the initial to the final, and the average quantity is the average of the initial and the final quantity. Similarly for the percentage change in price as well. Now, once you replace that, you have a formula for the price elasticity of supply function here. Let's do a numerical example. Let's say the price increases from 3 to 7. And as a result, the quantity supplied increases from 2 to 8. Now, we want to measure the price elasticity of supply given these 2 points. The initial point, which is the blue point, and the final point, which is the green point. So we need to calculate the percentage change in quantity, which is change in quantity, 8 minus 2, divided by the average quantity, which is 8 plus 2 divided by 2, which gives us 5. So we have 6 by 5 as the percentage change in quantity. What about the percentage change in prices? Well, the price increased from 3 to 7, so the change in price is 7 minus 3, and the average price is 7 plus 3 divided by 2. 7 minus 3 gives us 4, and 7 plus 3, 10, divided by 2 gives us 5. So the price elasticity of supply in this case is equal to this equation here. And once you solve this equation, you have 1.5 as a measure of elasticity. Now, what you just calculated is the price elasticity of supply function, but at what point? Is it at the blue point, or is it at the green point, or is it the same elasticity for the supply function at all the points? Well, what you just calculated, 1.5, is the elasticity of the supply function for the average point, the average of the blue and the green point. And the average of the green and the blue point, average price was 5 and the average quantity was 5. So what you just calculated was the price elasticity of supply of the red point here. So the price elasticity at that point is equal to 1.5. Now let's look at some of the extreme cases of the supply function. In this case, as the price changes, there is no change in quantity supplied. So the supply is not responsive to the supply function at all. So in this case, the price elasticity of supply is equal to 0, and we call this a perfectly inelastic supply function. Now in this case, you have a price elasticity of supply which is equal to 1, because the numerator is equal to the denominator. The percentage change in quantity supplied is equal to the percentage change in prices. If the units that you're measuring on the two axes, price and quantity, are the same, in that case, this line would be a 45-degree line. Otherwise, it does not have to be a 45-degree line. Now, in this case, you have a unit elastic supply function. Price elasticity of supply at every point on the supply function is equal to 1. I hope this was helpful.